Hi guys. So first off, I'm sure you can hear my machine in the background. I'm hoping it's not too loud, um, but it's cutting out a pretty big project. So I know it's been a while since I've gotten a new video up. We are due to welcome our second little family member here in a couple months, so this year has been really loaded. But I wanted to try to get a couple videos up and running before he gets here. So today I was going to do a video on the feature print and cut. My 2-year-old has been asking for a Thomas the Train shirt every morning, and we don't have one, and they are surprisingly hard to find, so I'm going to go ahead and just make him one. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to Google and look for a Thomas the Train image, something that he might like on a shirt, something simple. Searching with the transparent will just help to get that clear background. It helps kind of with the cleanup of it a little bit more, so you don't have to worry about getting rid of a background on your image. Let's see, I think just something like this. So you can see it already has that checker background, so when we go ahead and bring it into design space, we won't have to worry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and save it to my desktop. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go back here. I'm going to upload the image, and it's saved down here in my download bar, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab it and drop it. And we'll just save it as a complex just habit for me. So you can see the background here is already erased. There's nothing we need to worry about. So we can just go ahead and click continue. And you can see if we were to send it over as a cut image, it's going to save it as a solid piece, and it will just cut that outline. But since I'm going to be printing this on printable iron-on, I'm going to save it as a print then cut. So it'll keep all these colors and everything you see here. This is how it will print. So I'll go ahead and hit save. And then we'll go ahead and click our image that we just uploaded and insert it into our canvas here. And the max size we can cut, I think it's somewhere around 6 by 9. It's 6 in some pieces and 9 in some pieces. But what I'm going to do is I have his 2T t-shirt right here. I'm just going to go ahead and measure directly on the shirt. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger based on that shirt. So let's go ahead and bring this up to 5. So that'll be about 5 by 5 on his little 2T shirt, which this will cut just fine. You can even probably go to 5.5 to fill out his shirt a little bit more. But if we were to try to make this, say 8, it's going to become an 8 by 8 image. If we were to go to try to make this, it's not going to allow us because one of those dimensions is outside that range for printing. So you can see the image is too large, so it's 9 1/4 by 6 3/4 is the max your image can be to go ahead and print it. So we would have to bring this back down, and I'm going to do it by 5.5. And I always double check on the shirts, just because different brands run differently. I mean, a 2T shirt, I've had different sizes from different companies, so what might work 5.5 on one brand might be way too big or way too small. So I always measure directly on my shirt, and I think 5.5 is plenty for his little shirt. So this is how it's going to print. I'm going to go ahead, it's going to go to make it, and it's going to print it on the print then cut feature. So you can see this black box around here is supposed to be there. It's the registration marks that the Cricut machine is going to read in order to cut out our image as we want it on the shirt. So I always use a dark shirt iron-on, and I will go ahead and leave from this screen view and go to an open video so I can show you the product I use. But in the materials that I use, because I use the dark shirt, we will not mirror it. It's going to cut just like this. We're going to peel it off almost like you would a sticker and lay it on the shirt directly. If you use the iron-on for light shirts, that one does get mirrored. I don't like how it shows up even on light colored shirts, so I use the dark iron-on for every project I do. So when I do a print then cut for a t-shirt, I never mirror it because I'm using that same material. So when we go ahead here and click continue, it's going to want us to send it to our printer. And because I'm cutting something, that's where we're getting this error, because my machine is still going. So I'm not going to click yes because this is a big project that's going. So once this is ready, we can send this to the printer, go ahead and get it printed, and then it'll be ready to cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this screen view and go over to show you the products I'm using and how it looks as it comes off our printer. Okay, so my other one has finished cutting. So we'll go ahead and get this one ready. Oops. Go ahead and make it. So now we can go ahead and send it to our printer. So this is the product I use. It would help if you could see it. There you go. So I use it for the dark fabrics. I get it at usually Joann's, just because it's close to me, but I'm sure you could get it at Hobby Lobby or even Michael's. So this is the sheet that we're going to go ahead and print on. It's got the white on one side and the blue lines. So we want to set it up in our printer so that it will print on that solid side. So for me, that's having the blue lines facing up. Go ahead and load it into our printer here. And then this bleed feature just adds this way around the edges, so when it's cutting, it helps eliminate it adding any white space around the edge. So you can see, if you look really close, let me see what I can get it to show. So this is with bleed off and then on. So you can see how it adds just a little bit kind of around the whole edge of the image. Just helps it to get a cleaner cut so you don't have those white lines around the image once it cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. And I'm going to change my advanced options here once it loads. Maybe, there it goes. So I change the quality to best when I do mine. And I change the medium type to this photo advanced paper. This was messing around with my printer, my specific printer, overdoing these shirts. And this is what has worked best for my specific printer. We have an HP PhotoSmart. So I'm going to go ahead and print this using the settings that I've played around with. They might be a little bit different for everybody else's, but it's going to go ahead and print here behind me. So I think I had these pulled up. Some other ones I've done using the same feature. This was using a print then cut for this girl here. I've done some for my son for his birthday somewhere. This was another one. The trolls were a print then cut. I had my son's birthday shirt just while this is printing. It prints slow because it's printing in that higher quality. So Moana here was using print then cut on this vinyl that's going right now. This Skipolini's. It's a pizza place by us that serves a Prego pizza that is meant to put women into labor. So I am a Skipolini's pizza baby. A mom ate this pizza and it put her into labor. So this was my son's birthday shirt this year. So the whole guppy image is a print then cut feature. And I think I had a Pocahontas here at one point. I thought so, somewhere. Oh, and there it is. There it is. So then this Pocahontas was print and cut as well. And my machine. So my printer grabbed a piece of paper below my printable iron-on and took that with it. So let's try this one more time. Okay, so here we have our image. It has printed out from our wonderful printer. Let me see if I can get the light better over here a little bit. So there's our Thomas. He looks so good. Okay. I kind of like to make sure it's dry a little bit because we do have to stick it on our mat, and I don't want to spread the ink, you know, if it's still wet. So I'm going to go ahead and just load this up on our mat. In a second. Ooh, let's let it dry. Okay. I'm going to get this on here. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Alright, so here we go. So, you know, simple on the mat. Go over here to our machine. And I cut this on the same setting that I cut my HTV or just regular adhesive vinyl. I use the custom setting. Oops, sorry. I use the custom setting and sticky note. That seems to work best for my machine. I know others can use the vinyl feature. It seems to cut too deep on mine, no matter what I've tried. And washi tape was just a little too soft for mine. So sticky note seems to work best. So I'm going to go ahead and send this through using that sticky note cut feature. And what the machine's going to do is read those registration marks so it knows where to cut, and then it's going to go ahead and cut out our Thomas. And that's it. We'll go ahead and go over to my heat press, and we will get this put on the shirt for my little guy. Alright, hopefully this stays here. So I got my heat press on and fired up. I'm going to go ahead and add my little pillow here to my shirt. And I have my press set to 330. Again, that's the setting that has worked best for mine. It fluctuates between like 315 and 330, even though it's set to 330. So I'll go ahead and get this on here. So the pillow just helps to lift it up to avoid the seams here on the side. And then I'm just going to test with the pressure. I was just pressing some canvases, which are obviously a lot thinner. So I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit too much. Nope, that actually feels good. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I had a feeling this wasn't going to stay very well here. My craft room has been changed up into a nursery, so I'm still trying to work on getting these settings, how to get everything to stay, so I apologize. So I've got my little train image, so all I'm going to do is go ahead and peel it off. So this is why we don't mirror it for this one, because it just peels off. It's very thin, so I try to peel it as carefully as I can. So you can see the edges that were left on the edge since I kept the bleed feature on. So that just helps ensure that I'm going to get a complete image on my shirt and not the white edges. So you can see it's got an edge around the whole thing from the bleed being kept on. So here's our loose train. I'm going to go ahead and get it on layered on my shirt here. And it does start to curl with the heat, so I like to try to push it down here a little bit. Okay. We'll go ahead and put our Teflon sheet on here. This can also be done with an iron. You don't need a heat press. In the package, these sheets come with iron-on directions. I go ahead and press this until I can see the fibers of the shirt through it, just like I would with regular HTV. It's usually about 40 seconds. It's a little bit longer with this material than regular. I see it smoking. Huh? Yeah, so I can't see the fibers yet, so I'm going to do one more press, and that usually does it for me with this material. Okay, that looks much better. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. All right, cool it off a little bit. And there we go. There's our Thomas shirt. Let me see if I can get it so you can see it a little bit more. And there he is. So it's really simple to do. I enjoy doing them. Some pieces is just way too much to try to layer. So this works good for those kind of projects. If you have any questions, let me know, or if there's anything you're hoping to see, let me know that as well. I'll try to get some new videos up here in the next month or two before our new little edition arrives. And go to an open video so I can show you the product I use. But in the materials that I use, because I use the dark shirt, we will not mirror it. It's going to cut just like this. We're going to peel it off almost like you would a sticker and lay it on the shirt directly. If you use the iron-on for light shirts, that one does get mirrored. I don't like how it shows up even on light colored shirts, so I use the dark iron-on for every project I do. So when I do a print then cut for a t-shirt, I never mirror it because I'm using that same material. So when we go ahead here and click continue, it's going to want us to send it to our printer. And because I'm cutting something, that's where we're getting this error, because my machine is still going. So I'm not going to click yes because this is a big project that's going. So once this is ready, we can send this to the printer, go ahead and get it printed, and then it'll be ready to cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this screen view and go over to show you the products I'm using and how it looks as it comes off our printer.